Good morning and welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from that police perspective, you know the deal. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Today, we're going to talk about the new direction of the search for Gonzalo Lopez is taking. We heard yesterday from the TDCJ spokesperson, Mr. Hurst, down in Centerville. He gave his daily speech, and it was quite anything but the ordinary what we were used to. There was some theatrics in there. There was some arguments with news reporters. A lot of you haven't seen this, but I'm going to play it for you because in the beginning of this, he didn't realize that he was still live, that they went live on Facebook, and he got into a little bit of an argument with several of the reporters that were there. And I found it pretty unprofessional and pretty shocking that he would get into this exchange over news reports that the search was over in that area. And I want to say thank you to all the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all of the folks who positively engage in this community. You are what makes it great. Thank you to the replay viewers, the super chatters, all the folks who support us financially. I greatly appreciate you guys. And by just subscribing and watching and engaging, you're supporting us financially. So thank you so much for doing that. Everybody here is in it together, and we all support this community in one way, shape, or form. So let me say special thank you to Jules Cares, Cecina, Teresa, Cat Lover, Joey Brooklyn, Tina. Always great to see you, Tina Thorne, from the Facebook and the Periscope days. Richella Pranzo, always present and ready, present for duty with Lieutenant Pete. Boxing MMA, Gary from all the way over in Ireland. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. So let me just find out by a show of hands. Hi, Aries 0416. My Aries sign is 0419. So we're kind of close, 0416. Hello to fellow sister or brother Aries. I'm not sure if it's male or female, but thank you for being here. Nikki Bella, as always, Trucker Steve. Always great to see you guys. Gamer Guy is here. Some new faces, some old faces. It's always great that I know that Dawn Marie is always there and ready to promote Crime Time with DutyRon when we're getting ready to go live. But let's see, by a show of hands, who saw the skirmish between the news reporters and it actually started by Mr. Hurst, the TDCJ spokesman. Anybody see it? Let me know by a show of hands if anybody saw that video. It wasn't put out all over the news. This was one that was kind of they tried to hide this one. But thank you to the Tipperman family. Thank you to Melanie, Robert, and Braxton for putting me onto it and letting me know. These guys live in the search zone, so they let me know everything that's going on, including flight paths and things of that nature. So most of you have not seen this. All right. So to set it up for you guys, to be fair about this, he was upset that they reported that they were stopping the search in Leon County. They haven't stopped the search, but they definitely scaled it back, and there's not the same presence. And I'm not saying this just to say it. I'm getting it from residents, from people who live there. There's not the same presence there. The perimeter is still is wide open. Highway 7 is now open. There's not a person sitting or standing every 200 feet or whatever the intervals of yardage that they used. So this is going to be a little unprofessional, and you're going to see this for the first few minutes. He goes back and forth and argues with them over paragraphs and corrects them. He told them, and I'm almost certain he didn't know that they were live. He told them that his bosses back at the command center were pissed off that they reported that they were scaling back the search or that the search was over. So let's let this roll. I'll show you this so you guys can see it. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, please. I appreciate it, guys. So here we go. This was from yesterday during the day.
release says you're ending your active search in Leon County.
Are they reading it?
Yeah.
It says the search is entering a new expanded phase. Nowhere does it say we are calling off the search in Leon County. Are they listening to me?
I think she's.
Did you read
He
the
doesn't
article?
know they're live.
Because we said they concluded the search in Leon County.
We
That
have
is
not
the
concluded
last
the search in Leon County. Read the news release.
That is I think she's referring to where it says have concluded an exhaustive ground and air search in Leon County in the first paragraph.
Read the second paragraph.
A contingent of
That second paragraph is also in your story too.
Okay, we are not calling off the search. We will keep people here in Leon County, but we are not calling off the search.
Yeah.
Okay?
Agreed.
Are they on the same page with me?
And that's in our article.
Okay?
Yeah.
I got people back in command that are pissed off right now that y'all are reporting that we've called the search off, and that's not true.
All right.
Okay?
Hello, Trent. Pretty good. Did you have the live up work?
You hear the news reporters asking their people if the live is up. This is something that I caught on to, and I'm sure most of you internet detectives, people who pay attention, this is the first 1 minute and 18 seconds. He's looking at his phone. He doesn't know that they're live. You just heard the woman call to the command and say, "Is the feed up?" Listen to this.
Hello, Trent. Pretty good. Did you have the live up work?
Do we have the live up already? Did anybody catch that? She said, "Hi, Lopez. Does anybody have the live up or yet?" So
okay,
listen to this.
Hello, Trent. Pretty good. Did you have the live up work? She said, I think she did.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah, he's about to start.
Are we ready to start?
No. No, you have to clarify with TDCJ that the search is not open. Yeah. I have forwarded the email.
Watch. He asked them if the cameras are pointed at him.
So I'll take 6 feet, so it's going to be in there.
your camera's not pointed at me.
It is.
All
It is?
Yes, sir. You started right now. Bye.
All right.
Yeah, I have forwarded the email.
We're ready.
So I'll take 6 feet, so it's going to be in there.
Your camera's not pointed at me.
It is.
All
It is?
Yes, sir. You started right now. Bye.
All right. Okay, you ready?
yes.
Okay, I'm just going to read straight off of the news release, okay? Want to give your viewers an update here on the search for Gonzalo Lopez. We are entering a new expanded phase. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice, along with the Office of Inspector General and numerous law enforcement agencies, have concluded an exhaustive air search and ground search here in Leon County. We will keep a contingent of personnel here in Leon County conducting strategic searches of areas outside the original secured perimeter. We are not calling off the search. We will continue to keep personnel here in Leon County, but the search will now go into a new expanded phase. The renewed focus by the OIG, the Texas Rangers, and the U.S. Marshals is to leave no stone unturned as we continue to follow leads and track Lopez's whereabouts. We continue to urge the public that if they have any information about him, to please call 911 or call their nearest law enforcement agency or call the OIG Crime Stoppers number. Lopez, again, is described as 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, last seen wearing white clothing in a wooded area off of Highway 7. The $50,000 reward does remain in place, leading to information to his capture and conviction. I'm going to give you a quote here from the Attorney General's office. Excuse me, not the Attorney, I apologize, the Office of Inspector General. The Office of Inspector General Chris Love says anyone who has knowledge of Lopez's location should come forward. Those found to be helping or harboring him not only will face arrest and prosecution, but they are also putting themselves in danger. Lopez has a complete disregard for human life and will do what it takes to avoid capture. We will take this investigation wherever it leads us into Lopez's background, and we will get him back into custody. So, again, we are not calling off the search. We are just entering a new phase. We will have folks from the Office of Inspector General, along with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, along with other law enforcement agencies looking for him in other areas besides Leon County. This is a new phase of the search. Again, I'm repeating, we are not calling off the search here in Leon County. It's just going into a new phase. As you see, the roadblock is now down. Highway 7 is back open to traffic going up and down, eastbound and westbound. That is the Department of Public Safety that made that call, along with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and the Office of Inspector General. So, any questions?
How far out have you all expanded the search now? What areas now or communities are going to be affected right now?
Statewide. And as far as we can go to locate him and get him back into custody.
The Highway 7 is now accessible. What other parts are still blocked off to the community, so they know?
None.
So the entire around the perimeter
The perimeter is now open. The perimeter is now open. If anyone has been avoiding going to their home.
See, he's saying now that Highway 7 is open. The perimeter is now open, and we got confirmation from the Tieperman family that everything's wide open. So they're essentially done with securing that perimeter and that triangle that we'll put up on the board in a little bit, and they're going to be concentrating on other areas, and that's going to tell us that I think that they feel and know that he's not in that area there.
Now, I do want to stress this. If anyone has not been in their home during this time and they get to their area, get to their home and they feel unsafe or if they feel that there's something amiss, please contact law enforcement. Let them come out there and check the area for you before you go inside your home if you've been away this past few days while we've been here conducting our search.
What's the message for people just kind of outside?
All right, I'm going to pause this for a few because Ed Wallace is with us, and I don't think he's got a lot of time. So I want to just make sure he gives me the thumbs up before I put him on. I think he is in his mobile, so he's giving the thumbs up. Ed Wallace is joining us live. Hello, Mr. Wallace. How are you, brother?
Hey, DutyRon. Hey, family. We're doing good. Doing good.
Where are you? You're on the road. You're on the move.
Oh no, I'm parked. I'm not driving. I just came back from the vet. I had to drop off a sample of Kara's droppings.
Okay, gotcha. For the worming, the deworming.
Yes, exactly.
What'd you think of this? The Tiepermans shared this with me last night, kind of late. You know, it happened in the later day, and it was on Facebook. Did you see the beginning when he was having the exchange with the reporters? And that was kind of like, I'm getting my ass chewed out because of the reporting that you did. We're still here and we're still searching. But the Tiepermans confirmed that they're really not searching. There are some personnel left behind. The command post is still there, but they're not, actively searching.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't be saying because of the reporting, he's getting his six chewed out. He's getting his six chewed out because of the information he's given out.
Yeah, exactly. The mixed information, and he's doing the backpedal and the I'm gonna, and he's taking it out on them. He didn't know he was live, and that didn't make the news. It was on Facebook. It was plastered out on Facebook. So,
and why was he so concerned the camera wasn't on him?
I don't know. Yeah. All of it was kind of bizarre. I had a phone call with Robert Tieperman just this morning, and I spent an hour on the phone with them last night. Teresa B says he's in Mexico. Teresa, that's a pretty safe bet. I would say you got a good chance of rolling the dice and winning on that one. But we don't know. We don't know for sure. But I will tell you this. Our intelligence community on the state federal level, the state and federal, and in some of our locals, because when we were in NYPD, we were embedded with the marshals. They had some good confidential informants and sources. So does the, intelligence community in other countries. So if he is there, eventually we'll find out about it. How do you feel about that, Ed?
Yeah, I've been wrong I've been wrong with Brian Laundrie. I thought he was going to flee. I was wrong with the Whites. I thought they were going to flee the country. If anybody has the connections to get back to Mexico, it's this guy. So, you know, I don't know what to think anymore. But like I said, I'd like to see that bus and see just how he got out of those cuffs, how he got through that cage, and if there was preparation done beforehand, then that's a key indicator that he's working with co-conspirators, and there probably was a plan for him to break out and then hook up with somebody and whisked out of the country.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel strongly about that. I think that is a strong possibility, and I don't see the upside, Ed, for him hiding out in a heavily armed part of the United States in Texas. And Leon County, 99.9% of the residents are armed, and I'm sure he's got that intel. It doesn't make much sense for him to be hanging around there where, you know, even Robert Tieperman this morning said that a Cessna, he had the whole flight path was up, still flying in the air in that area, low, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. Central Time. So they're still doing surveillance to see if anyone's on foot or trying to move from place to place. I feel that, you know, again, it's dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but I don't see him still going on 10 days, 10 days, still being on foot, you know.
Yeah, you know, they got to go back. They got to go back to his prison communications over the last couple of months to see who he was conversing with, either in person or telephone or you know, whatever, you know, he's allowed to do. I'm not sure about whether inmates are allowed to do emails or whatever the case may be, but they just need to track down his communications, see who he was talking to, and if they have any information. Plus, if he has, I don't know, in the library, if they have access to the internet, and see if he was doing any searches or whatever the case may be. You know, there needs to be a very thorough background investigation on him, what he was doing prior to the escape.
Right. I agree. There needs to be a ton of, you know, computer forensics done on all of his searching, any of his research, any of his movements in the last 12 months or so. They need to go back quite a bit of time. But
yeah.
I'm gonna imagine they go back from day one, you know, going from most recent back.
Now, if this was pre-staged, then what, you know, there could be a possibility that someone planted a phone in the bus as well. And when he got out, he had communications with co-conspirators or whatever the case may be. So start looking at the cell phone towers and see what was happening in terms of traffic at those towers around the escape area, and see if we can't track down some odd telephone number that's like a burner phone or something.
Right. I want to mention Nikki Bella puts in, he maybe he got a tool from another inmate in the rec yard. I mean, unless they overlooked purposely and said, oh, we'll just overlook this sawzall down the side of his pants. I mean, you can't cut through the metal in those gates that block the guards driving and the rear gate with a shank or a homemade, you know, tool. So I think the odds of that are very low, and I think that something happened. Somebody did something for him and cut that out and pre-cut it out, just like Ed Wallace said, and that was back in place, just like those vents where you see people escape from their cells and go down and get out of the prison. That had to have been pre-done, pre-cut. I can't see somebody with a homemade or jail-made shank or tool cut through stuff like that. So I want to say that is a very low probability that happened, that he did that on the bus live while they were driving. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, think about how much time that would take, and how is it that nobody would have noticed it? The driver would not have noticed it. The guard in the back would not have noticed someone cutting through.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it was chicken wire. I mean, and they don't use chicken wire to keep as the defense to keep prisoners from breaching a cockpit where driver is driving a huge bus. So it's we're going to hear more. Hopefully, they're going to be clear and transparent, and they're not going to go into a thing like what we saw in Nevada when there was that prison uprising in 2021, and they put it out to the public as a disturbance in the prison. They flooded the prison. They burnt it on fire. And when the tactical officers went into Nevada to get the prisoners, they formed like the wedge going in, and the prisoners formed their counter wedge to the officers, and they still billed it as just a disturbance. So that was a big thing in Nevada that happened in 2021 that not a lot of people hear about. And thank you to Jennifer for sending me that article. I read it and I couldn't believe it. But I'm hoping here Texas is going to be, forthright with all of the investigative information that shows what happened, because we as the public, we need to know, what the hell's going on in the Department of Corrections in the state of Texas and across our country for that matter.
Yeah.
You can't have these murderers be incarcerated and put behind bars. And one breakout is one too many, because, you take them off the street for committing murder, and now they get a second chance. And this guy's tried to break loose, I think, multiple times.
He did escape once before for 9 days, and they got him back.
I read an article that he had other attempts that were not going back to 1996. So, I don't know, Ed. Things are starting to come out on this guy, and I'm going to start to do a little bit more research on his criminal history and what he was like behind bars. And if they had knowledge of that, of multiple attempts, and some successful, some not, there's no way in hell they should have let that guy, those guys, transport him with just two prison correction officials.
Yeah.
I know you got to go because you're in the car. I don't want to hold you for a long period of time, but I have two other videos that I want to play for everybody to hear. And they talk about moving. They're going to be moving. They were looking to go. At one point, it was north going towards Buffalo, and then it was on 317 south. It looks like it's now taking the north. They're going up north towards the Buffalo area in Texas, Buffalo County or whatever it is up there. I have a map of it. I'm going to show everybody at the end of this, but it looks like Leon County. They had made the checks. They checked it off, and they're like, okay, I think we see. They're telling people to go back to normal everyday life here, and I'm gonna move it back. But I know you got to. Ed, can you stay a little bit, or do you got to go?
No, I'm good. I'm sitting in my driveway.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me just play this one piece because there's only like 2 minutes left to it. I want him to finish his statement here, because at the end of this, he tells the news reporters that we're done. He basically says, "You're not going to hear from me anymore." Were you aware of that, Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah. He tells them. They go, "Well, when's the next conference?" He goes, "We're done." You're done. He just basically dismissed them. So let's let this play. I'll let everybody hear it. There's only 2 more minutes left.
Maybe he's done.
Yeah, I think he is done. Cat D, thank you for that super chat. Cat D says, "For all you do." I appreciate that. Thank you, Cat. Much appreciated. All right, let's listen to this guy.
If anyone has not been in their home during this time, and they get to their area, get to their home, and they feel unsafe, or if they feel that there's something amiss, please contact law enforcement. Let them come out there and check the area for you before you go inside your home if you've been away this past few days while we've been here conducting our search.
What's the message for people just kind of outside this search area as this goes around the state? What's the message for people to keep an eye out?
The message is to please remain vigilant, keep an eye out for him. You've got the wanted poster that we sent out earlier this week with the pictures of him from when he was boarding the bus last Thursday a week ago. Please keep an eye out for him. If anybody's got any information about him, if they see somebody that they suspect is him, do not engage this man yourself. He is a very dangerous person, has no disregard for human life. You must, I strongly urge that you must contact law enforcement officials. Let them be.
Did he just say no disregard for human life? Ed, did you hear that? Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Did you hear him say that?
Yes, it's no regard for human life, Mr. public information officer.
I don't speak perfectly either, so I shouldn't throw.
No,
I shouldn't throw.
we mess up from time to time. It happens.
Human nature. All right, let's let the rest of this play because now he's going to tell them we're done. Here we go.
The ones to deal with him if you think you've come across him.
But just to clarify once more, the search is not over, but the perimeter is now open.
Correct.
We're getting a little bit of severe weather coming, and I know you said rain or not, you guys are not going to stop. But how will that possibly change, especially with lightning? I know you all won't be able to send up helicopters. How will that probably change the search with the risk of lightning?
The severe weather that's coming through, our personnel that will remain here, they will be aware of what's happening. They'll take the proper precautions.
As far as, wearing that uniform still, and if he's possibly grown some more hair than he had in those original photos, what do we think this could look like?
That's a good question. All I can go on is what the last photograph that we had of him from a week ago. So anybody that sees somebody that may look like him based upon any facial hair, he's bald, so it might take a little while for his hair to grow out. I don't think it would grow out in a week's time. So if anybody sees anybody that's got some facial hair that they think might be him, please contact law enforcement. Don't engage this man yourself.
I guess homeowner, residents, they can get back to their normal life.
Anybody that lives here in Leon County that's been impacted by this search, they should go ahead and consider that they can go back to their normal routine.
Let me just tell you something. I spent an hour on a Friday night speaking to the Tieperman family. They are still, just like all the residents of Leon County, very, very concerned for their safety. They're not freaking out and, staring out the front window, but they are living their lives completely different. They're locking their doors all the time. They're not allowing their son to go out and play. Braxton is not allowed out of the house during the day, unsupervised. He's 11 years old. So it's easy for other people to say, get on with your lives and let's get on with it. But when you have a wanted Mexican mafia, killer that killed someone with a pickaxe, I mean, right, Ed?
Yeah.
I mean, would you be allowing your 11-year-old son to, oh yeah, just go out in the cow pasture and hang out on the goat farm? Everything's good. They're not letting their kid go out, and nobody's giving them answers. That's the problem that I was getting from Melanie and Robert, the Tieperman family. Ed, they were saying to me, we have no direction from these guys. They're not telling us as residents. It's a small community. Like, hey, listen, this is what we want you to follow. Here's the protocol we want you to follow. They're just talking to the media. So nobody in this small farming community they're not getting any reassurance from the authorities. We're about 1 minute and 10 seconds away from his dismissal. So let's go back to that. Let's go back to it because I want everybody to hear it, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, here we go. Come on, Mr. Leon County.
But again, if they feel uncomfortable in anything on their property that they don't feel comfortable with, contact the local law enforcement, let them deal with it. That's what they're here for. Let me say this to those of you in the media. We appreciate very much your cooperation and your assistance in getting the word out to the public during this last week. Thank you very much. You've been very cooperative, very helpful, and we appreciate what you've done for us as well, getting the word out to the public. So thank you again for that. With that, I think we're done. Thank you very much. And again, yes, this is it. This is it. Okay? Thank you. That they don't feel comfortable with. Very much your cooperation. Let me say this to those of you in the media. We appreciate very much your cooperation and your assistance in getting the word out to the public during this last week. Thank you very much. You've been very cooperative, very helpful, and we appreciate what you've done for us as well, getting the word out to the public. So thank you again for that. With that, I think we're done. Thank you very much. And again, yes, this is it.
She said, will this be the last?
This is it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is it. He said, I think we're done. We are done. What'd you think of that, Ed?
Yeah, it's, I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Yeah, he
I
certainly
just
did.
want,
He certainly did for 9 days.
yeah, you know what? I just want to go to Dairy Queen now and go get a chili cheese dog and some onion rings.
There you go. There you go. Chili cheese dog on at the DQ right there. Truck stop, the noise. What a memorable 8 or 9 days with this guy. What do you guys think in the chat? Let's go over to the chat. I see epic fail. This guy needs a new job. I think people are not too happy with Mr. Hurst and what he did as far as communication. There are some people who like the guy. I think in the beginning, I did like him. In the beginning, I thought the first day or two, I thought he was pretty good. What did you think, Ed?
Well, I know the first signs of hostility, I got turned off.
Right.
Okay. And then there were some people in the chat that were like, "Oh, you're being too critical. You're being too critical." I said, "Well, the man has a very critical job, and I've been involved in high profile cases that that the information needs to get to the public in a timely manner, but also in an accurate manner, and in such a way as professional way." And in a way not to cause anxiety and so forth. And so I'm judging him based upon things that I've seen in my career, and I'm sorry he fell short.
Yeah. We would be remiss if we said that he did a great job. We would be lying to you guys. And the bottom line is that out of the gate he came out good. He was strong. He seemed like he could be a good leader with this stuff, but he was just, again, he fell short, as you said, Ed, on a lot of different items, on a lot of different issues. And the community, the people of Centerville and Leon County, I'm on their Facebook groups, and I could see what they're saying and what they're talking about, and they really didn't like the way he handled stuff. And then he doubled down on Melanie Tieperman when she came out and the news came out with her video. The only civilian who saw Gonzalo Lopez exit that bus, and when he was presented with that, he dismissed it. He's like, "I don't know who this woman is. I don't know what that is."
Well, it was a bit defensive because she contradicted what he's been saying.
Correct.
Okay, and she has video proof.
Right, and that for me was a big problem when I heard him say that, and I saw the way he reacted to it. I just said to myself, this guy is he's trying to backpedal. He's trying to just dismiss her, and he did. He dismissed her publicly, and that really, for me, is not the civil servants working with the public. It's civil servants against the public, is the way I saw it.
We profess see something, say something, and when someone comes forward and says something after seeing something, and more than seeing it, videotaped it, okay, and he dismisses her out of hand, he's slapping the public in the face, and it's going to deter other people from coming forward if this is going to be the reaction they're going to get, okay. And it's just totally unprofessional. Yeah. Now, I'm not criticizing just to be critical, okay? Constructive criticism, I've always received in my career, and I sought constructive criticism in my career, because in forensics, your work gets looked over by a judge and by the defense attorney's own private experts that they hire. So you have to be able to, when you do your work, you have to be able to know that somebody is going to be looking at what you did and try to punch holes in it. So when I testify in court, I would go to either the prosecutor or the defense attorney that brought me in to testify afterwards and said, "How did I do? Was there anything that I can do differently? How do I make myself better?" So you always have to be looking to improve yourself. Okay, so he should not be taking this in such a fashion as to blow off the criticism. He should look at it honestly and objectively, and then make corrections where needed.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because part of being a good communicator is to understand that, you have to make corrections on things that you might have miscommunicated with the public. And, these public information officers who speak to the general public in dangerous situations like this, they have the onus is on them to get accurate and valid information out, so you reduce the chance of loss of human life. And I feel strongly about good, valid information for people on the ground, boots on the ground, the people that live in that community that are walking around with firearms on them legally. They're all legal, licensed firearm permit holders. So you have the whole community who are extra eyes and ears to help capture this guy. And now you don't encourage people to capture wanted violent felons, but if they come in contact with you or try to come at you to take you as a hostage, as he did with the other guy who's looking for a ransom of $40,000. Granted, it was drug cartel kind of hostage situation. He didn't get his money, and he pickaxed the guy to death. So does somebody who has a licensed firearm want to allow this guy to breach their property or come onto their house or take their car? The chances are he gets a hold of you, he's going to kill you. So
we don't want any vigilantes. What you do want is, be prepared, okay, and protect yourself.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Protect yourself. Right. Now another thing too with a public information officer, in the beginning, all the information is chaotic and it's not organized, and so you expect some degree of misinformation. But once you've been made aware that the information that you disseminated was not accurate, it's your duty to come back and say, hey guys, I said this, but we just recently found that it wasn't this, it was this, and correct the information. And in addition, you have to be, you don't give an answer just for the sake of giving an answer. If you don't know, then don't give an answer. Tell them, I don't know that, I'll get back to you, and go out and find the answer. Okay. Right. And then come back and give them the answer. If you tell somebody, I'll get back to you on that because you don't know the correct answer, that's the right thing to do. But you got to come back and give them the answer to the question.
Yeah, 100%, Ed. I agree with you wholeheartedly. A lot of folks are saying they worry for the Tieperman family, for their safety. They think the Mexican cartel is going to come and get them. That's probably not a high probability, because the Mexican cartel couldn't give two flying rats. Hold on. About the Tieperman family. She did record him getting off the bus, but two correction officers and a Jewett police officer witnessed it as well. The two correction officers were attacked, essentially, and he took the bus and drove it a mile down the road, according to the TDCJ official, and they shot out the tires as the bus was moving. The bottom line here is there were 3 law enforcement professionals who witnessed him escape. A civilian, our only known civilian, took video of him going through the field and running away. They're a heavily armed family. That community is a heavily armed community. I don't think that they're worried at all. They are worried for their child's safety, perhaps by having this convicted felon and the murderer on the run, but they can handle themselves. Trust me. I have many conversations with them. They are. In
the big scheme of things, it doesn't impact the cartel's business, and it's not worth the time or effort to do something crazy like that. It's if anything, it's only going to put them in more jeopardy.
Hey, look at what M. Finn just said. I agree with you, Ed, and that's what we were talking about here. M. Finn says, I love this show. We love you right back. And I want to say, yes, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers, all of the old and everybody in between that hang out with us here on Crime Time with DutyRon. You guys are awesome. If you can, please subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed, let us know if you're new. If you're just stumbling across this live stream, by putting a new in the chat. I have the video, day 8, for the search for Gonzalo Lopez, where he dismisses Melanie Tieperman. I'm going to try to play that. I'm not going to play it in its entirety, and I'm going to scan through it till we get to that part. So let's play that, and then Ed will wrap it up, because my wife's taking her foot and smashing it on the floor. Oh, it's Saturday. I got to plant plants in the backyard. You got to take me to the florist. You got to.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
I got a honey-do checklist, Ed. All right, here we go. I believe we're going to scan through it, and let's listen.
let them deal with it. So on that, call 911, call your local. So we appreciate that. From the time that that bus left, no evidence showing any kind of suspicious activity. So the search for Gonzalo Lopez continues here in Leon County. We have continued to search western Leon County. We also moved into an area that was just a little bit off of our regular area that we've been searching to see if maybe there might have been any kind of movement. Didn't find anything there, so we're still looking and following any leads, any information that we might have coming in from the public. We want to continue to stress this is a very dangerous man. There's a $50,000 reward out for any information that's going to lead to his apprehension and conviction. 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, Hispanic male. No evidence showing any kind of suspicious activity. So I know a lot of people have been speculating about a lot of things about that. I'll let this truck go by. I know there's been a lot of speculation about that, but what I can tell you right now, law enforcement has looked at it. Nothing of a suspicious nature from the time that that bus left Gatesville up until the time of the accident. So we are preparing for possibility of severe weather coming into this area this weekend, maybe Saturday night on into Sunday. We've got Walmart over in Palestine that is donating over 300 ponchos for the folks that are out here in the field. So we appreciate that very much. It's not that we don't have the resources for this ourselves, but the fact that we've got the support of the community is very much appreciated. There's also a steel mill over in Jewett that came today and set up their grill, their portable grill, and they cooked dinner for all the folks that are out here in the field searching for him. So we appreciate that very much. The fact that we've got the support of the community tells us that everybody is on the same page here. Everybody wants to get this man back in custody. But again, I cannot stress enough, this is a very dangerous man. If anybody sees him, knows anything about him, do not try and engage him on your own. Call 911. Call your local law enforcement you might have real quick.
With the weather possibly coming, are you concerned that it may wash away any footprints or wash away any scents that dogs are tracking?
There's always that possibility. But we're doing everything we can to look for any evidence right now before the bad weather comes in. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh my God.
But to clarify, you guys are still going to be searching no matter how bad the weather gets. You're going to call off for a couple of hours, or you're pretty diligent that you will continue to search.
We will continue looking. As far as how bad the weather gets, I can only say right now that we will continue looking. If the weather gets really bad, there could be the possibility of suspending the search for a short time, but we're not calling this search off. We will continue our folks out in the field.
I was wondering some of the details that you clarified earlier this week. Now, I know you said originally Breiniger had shot out the back bus of the tires and then said he shot at him as Lopez was going away with the bus. Can you clarify a little bit? Because some are a little bit confused on how that could be. If the back tires were already shot out, apparently, how would they then continue to shoot at him as Lopez was driving away with the bus, as you mentioned yesterday?
Okay, I'm going to describe it again. The information that I've been given, he gets control. The officer that was driving the bus and continue fighting. The officer that's in the back of the bus goes out the emergency exit. He then sees what's happening with the officer and Lopez, shoots out the back tires of the bus. The bus is stopped. Okay? Then Lopez gets back on the bus. He had tried to get the weapon away from the officer
and then he changed it and said that he shot out the tires as the bus was driving away. But I want to get to the point where she asks about the video, and I think that's coming up next. So let's play that.
On the bus. Back tires of the bus. About a mile down the road, loses control of the bus, and then it goes off into the culvert on the westbound side of Highway 7. The two officers catch up to the bus. They run down the road. They catch up to the bus. That's when they see him running.
See, this is what I find hard to believe, that two officers struggled for their life, and fought with this guy. And then he took the bus and drove it a whole mile down the road, and they ran after in the Texas heat after struggling for their lives, especially the driver. and caught up with the bus. It doesn't show on Melanie Tieperman's video that there was 2 correction officers that were up with the bus, unless they came up after the fact. So it just doesn't make sense. All of this doesn't add up. Ed Wallace has left the vehicle and is back in his home. We were getting some feedback, so I had to mute him, and I knew that Ed was like, I'm not standing for this. I'm not being muted. There's no way. I'm going in my house where I got technology. All right, let's let
across the cow pasture northbound. Because that tires while across the cow pasture, their shotgun didn't hit him at the bus tires while it was stopped. When they caught up to him, when they caught up to the bus as he's running across the cow pasture, they fire shots at him as he's running across the cow pasture. They didn't hit him. As far as we know, there's no evidence, there's no indication that they hit him. They fired their service weapons, they fired their shotgun at him.
Now, has that person, Melanie Timperman, who saw it and didn't hear any shots that...
Yeah, she didn't hear any shots, and she didn't see any, and we saw her video. So this is Sarah from KAGS TV. Sarah, I believe, Williams. Williams is his last name. So she's great because she keeps asking him this question, and she was pissing him off by asking him the question. But kudos to you, Sarah.
Service weapons, they fired their shotgun at him.
Now, has that person, Melanie Timperman, who saw it and didn't hear any shots that most have seen that video, didn't hear any shots, who rolled up on the scene after the bus was stopped and said there was no shots fired or any on foot?
I can't address what that woman says. I don't know anything about what she's telling the media, okay? All I can tell you is what I've been told from our investigation standpoint, okay?
This is where he dismisses her, and this is a travesty of justice, because we know that she told the local sheriff and everybody, all authorities, they sent the video, they sent everything before they went to the press to local authorities, and nobody even interviewed them. Not even one interview. And I'm going to bring Ed back on to talk about that. There was not even a phone call to them to ask him, hey, miss, what did you see? And listen to how he dismisses. I don't know what that woman saw or said, but kudos to this reporter.
She's telling the media, okay?
Didn't hear any
Service weapons, they fired their shotgun at him.
Now, has that person, Melanie Timperman, who saw it and didn't hear any shots that most have seen that video, didn't hear any shots, who rolled up on the scene after the bus was stopped and said there was no shots fired or any on foot?
I can't address what that woman says. I don't know anything about what she's telling the media, okay? All I can tell you is what I've been told from our investigation standpoint, okay? And from what I'm being told by our investigators, those 2 officers fired shots at him as he was running out across the field. Maybe she didn't get there when the officers had fired the shot. Maybe she got there after they fired the shots. I don't know, okay? But those officers are telling us that they fired shots at him as he was running out across the cow pasture. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Are you shocked that it's day 8 and y'all still
All
haven't
right, that's
caught the
enough.
man yet?
So it took 7 minutes and 40 seconds to get to that part. Unbelievable, Ed. I still can't get over that this guy is in, and that's day 8 search, right? Mm-hmm. He dismissed and dismissed and dismissed. Day 8. She recorded that video the day. And I asked her last night with her husband on the phone with me, when did you report that? When did you call authorities with that? And she said immediately, right after that, I got home. I consulted with my husband. She didn't go straight home because she was scared to go home. She went to her friend's house, consulted with her husband, and then they sent it to the sheriff. And they never heard from anybody.
Are you telling me that this guy did not see this video?
This is day 8. He knew nothing about it. She took that video on the day, as we know, and here he is, day 8, in front of the Denny's. The DQ, yeah. and with the noise and everything, just completely dismissed it.
What was that?
I don't know. Somebody's trying to call me.
But yeah, I mean, you're the public information officer. Okay, this thing has been out there in the internet and on social media. How is it that you don't you didn't see it? How is it that you didn't look at it? And if you did look at it, how is it that you still make these claims? Because the video clearly shows the inmate running through the fields, and if there were shots fired, she would have spoke about it on the video, and they would have heard it. And those two prison guards that were in the bus were nowhere near that bus at the time that she was videotaping. Her son was videotaping. Braxton was videotaping. Yeah. And when she rolled past the officer, he appeared to be the first law enforcement representative on the scene, and those other two correctional personnel were nowhere to be seen.
Correctamundo. And we heard it straight from an eyewitness. And if you have an eyewitness, that is one of the investigators' most important part of the puzzle, irregardless of the personnel that was there. You know, you want eyewitnesses. You want a citizen. All of our shooting investigations that we went out on, you would canvass the area purposely to try to find somebody like this. You have somebody like this coming at you and saying, hey, right over here, I got a video of this guy running through the field, and I got a full view, my own eyes. I saw Gonzalo Lopez exit that bus unchallenged, nobody fighting him, no correction officers. I had a Jewett police officer outside of his car watching with me. I'm back 500 feet. I can see the bus. I can see him exit and run and jump over a fence that was visible to me and go in this direction. Wouldn't you want to have that? And you would want to ask her some more questions? Like, hey, did you hear shots before that? Did you see any correction officers running up the street with a rifle? Did you witness anything else, ma'am? Like, these are all, I mean, it wouldn't be asked like that, but, you know, we would be asking questions, investigative questions. Oh, it's frustrating on so many levels, Ed, that this exists in America. You're like, I'm just so used to such a tight investigation from the police department that we work for. And I'm saying that there's different variations across the United States due to staffing levels, and I get it, but it didn't seem like there was an issue with staffing levels or investigations. 8 freaking days. I'll put this back up on the screen so everybody could see it. It says right up here in the top, TDCJ update, day 8. I don't know if everybody could see that, but it's day 8. Right up here, top left. 8 days later, he's still dismissing an eyewitness account. That is unheard of. And you know, we love to support our law enforcement. We love to support them. But when you have something like this, we would be wrong by saying, well, you know, got to give them a break, guys. You got to give them some time. How much time do you need? A freaking 8 days with a Mexican mafia guy on the loose. You got a woman who's a law-abiding citizen that has a gosh darn video of the guy. What do you guys think in the chat? Mandy, thank you for the super chat. I have family from Texas, Dallas to be specific. That's where my grandparents are from. And this man's nonchalance is disturbing. I agree. What do you guys think? Let's go to the chat. Kay in Maine says someone needs to do a FOIL report for these officers' bank accounts to see if they are paid off to let this guy go. Yeah, I don't think
you can get a FOIA for that, but you know, an internal affairs investigations could achieve that.
Yeah. Thank you, Beth Katzberger, for the $10 super sticker. And then Jen Henson says, DutyRon, can you replay that piece again? What piece are you referring to? The piece where he discounts Melanie Tieperman? I will gladly replay that again because I still have it queued up. Who else is here? Ronnie for Missing Persons, Pacific Northwest, says, well, to be fair, the Mexican cartel are all over the place. We don't just realize it. It's true.
Well, they're in the United States, without a doubt. They're in the human trafficking and drugs. They're in the United States, or at least their assets, or they have some assets here in the United States.
Beth Hammer says the sheriff is a jerk. This is not a sheriff. He is a civilian employee for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. All right. So this is not a sheriff. This is someone who represents the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So if you're gonna dog him, get it right, Beth.
Yeah.
And we don't encourage that. We call it as we see it. And in this case, unfortunately, we have to call out what we see. So Moses says Dr. Gonzalo Lopez. Yeah, he is gone. Dr. Gonzo is gone. Let's see. All right, here we go. I'll play it one more time, and then me and Ed have to go because I'm getting ready to get divorced if I don't stop this live stream soon. So where is it? Okay, here it is. Ed, let's let it play.
He's crafty. She's telling
Shots fired, or at most have seen.
their shotgun at him.
Now, has that person, Melanie Timperman, who saw it and didn't hear any shots that most have seen that video, didn't hear any shots, who rolled up on the scene after the bus was stopped and said there was no shots fired or any on foot?
I can't address what that woman says. I don't know anything about what she's telling the media. Okay, all I can tell you is what I've been told from our investigation standpoint. Okay, and from what I'm being told by our investigators, officers.
My gosh.
Two officers fired shots at him as he was running out across the field. Maybe she didn't get there when the officers had fired the shot. Maybe she got there after they fired the shots.
That's not true because she stayed there I asked her. She said that she wasn't sure about the amount of time because time just was getting away from her. But she stayed on the scene, and Braxton filmed back towards the bus. You know, they went past it after they told the cop, Ed, you know, that, hey, he's in the field. You know, so she went past it and then panned the camera back when there was additional units. If they fired shotgun shots, blasts, and handgun shots, you bet your ass she would have heard that. She definitely would have heard that.
Yeah, and you would see some commentary on the video, and there isn't any. I mean, those corrections officers may have come after she was there, but I don't know what they would, if they did come and they fired shots. I don't know what they were shooting at because the perp would have been long gone.
Right. So they were firing at an open field with nothing in it. I mean, he was gone out of the view of the kid, of Braxton, filming. By the way,
you can easily determine how long she was there by looking at the time counter on the video, and then there are other things you could do to see in terms of the length of time she was at that location. But it's just not jiving with what the public information officer is saying. The video and what she shows on the video and what he says are not jiving.
I agree. So I have an hour and where is it? Hold on a second. I uploaded just the video part of our stream from the other night. It's an hour and 2 minutes interview with the Tieperman family. And in that hour and two, I'm going to try to cue it up to the point where we see the video. And I did do a lot of commentary on this, but I definitely want to play this right now so everybody could see it. I'm going to play it, but just excuse me pausing it, stopping, and talking. This was from our live 2 nights ago. So let me just show this on the screen, Ed. It's the whole family. So you guys can hear what they said, and then I'll show the video, and then we gotta wrap. So this is from the other night. Robert, you were saying something?
This situation without having my gun rights and being able to have the right to carry and bear arms, especially right now. I can't imagine just having to sit vulnerable in my home, not feeling safe to even walk outside.
What happened out here, and I know this is going to happen, would be Melanie, probably. And any man out here in this territory, if we see him walk our fence line, if we see a glimpse of him, we'll go after him to shoot him and then call 911.
Yes, that's correct.
Take care of business first.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, I finally got. I love it, Robert. I took my. So there's to the people who feel they should be worried about themselves or that they're worried for their safety. They're not worried for their safety. They are, legally gun carrying Americans who will protect their family. So you heard Robert, the husband, say it, and he said it will probably be her and not me that does this. So because he's not home during the day. She's a goat farmer, so she's home all day. DutyRon, did you ever determine if there was a follow car behind the bus? We never got clarity, Cecile. We never did get clarity. So, it is what it is. And again, for me, I feel strongly that this family will protect themselves. So let's Cap to you, kudos. I only wish that the deputies on. So all of the people here, we've got almost 900 people watching. So let's let them take a peek at what Braxton and his mom did that day. This is May 12th, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Inmate. Oh my God.
Yo, we saw the inmate.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
And that's him. He's actually running off.
What do you say? Is that about? What is that about? 300 yards? What are we looking at there?
We're just trying to
probably that point probably was.
That's probably a good way to estimate that is Braxton deer hunt. Was that about as far as you shot that deer?
When
this
I
year?
shot my deer, I think it was 400 yards.
325.
Yeah.
All right, but you guys were on the road, right?
Yes.
Were you pulled over to the side, or were you just?
Yes.
Well, there's not much of a shoulder, so I was really still in the road.
All right, so you pulled to the right. Is it a 2-lane road or is it one way each way?
It's
Two lane with no shoulder.
yes.
Okay, so she's to the right side. Looks like 3 to 4 foot grass or stuff growing.
That area is pretty thick, but where the bus wrecked, it wasn't that bad.
We're going to see it. We're going to see it, I believe, in this clip. So let's let this play from the beginning. I just kept going back over it because I wanted everybody to see. Right here where my cursor is going around in the circle is the little spot. I wish I could make this bigger.
I know.
Um,
Here, a little bit. Yeah.
But I'm just going to do that. And let's see. But then I can't. Well, that gives you guys a better look right here in the center of the screen. That's him, and he's just marching off into the. So that's Gonzalo Lopez. That's what they captured on screen. Hold on a second. I can't. I got to play it from here.
Yo, we saw the inmate.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
The bus is right up to the right there. I want to stop it so you guys can see. Okay, so right where her right rear view mirror is on her truck, there's a police vehicle straight forward on the opposite side of the street facing her, and then you can see the bus right here, right up over the rear view on her passenger side. That's how. So I want to stop that there, Ed. You could see that she, as the driver, had a full view of that exit of the bus, the side of the exit. So she saw Lopez get out of that bus, go up forward of the bus, jump the fence, and then run out into where they pick him up in the field there. So he came out and then ran towards them, up and in their direction through that little patch where he was able to film. So.
And there's no correction officers with weapons there.
Nothing. And we'll see it even clearer as this goes forward. How close they were. And that's where he was at that time.
He traverses through there. So he's the only one going through there. He's making his path. Now, if you're on the ground and you're tracking, you're looking for sign, you'll see plenty of sign. You see that the foliage and the indigenous plant life has been crushed by him passing through there. You might even find bits of hairs and fibers from his clothing and so forth, or they get caught up on stuff, and you'll definitely see footwear impressions running through there. So even a good horse, if you could have got a horse in there immediately, or some after this guy,
or a local rancher with an AR across his back.
I was just thinking from that window with my 308, he's gone.
Yeah. All right, let's let the rest of this play. It's 2 minutes and 28 seconds. I'm gonna let it play in its entirety here.
Yo, we saw the inmate.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
He's hiding by the
Is that a diesel?
Yes.
See, us city slickers pick up on that.
I had a Glock right beside me too, but
there you go.
having a concealed handgun license, first thing they tell you is never shoot them in the back running. So
Yeah, I have my Texas concealed carry permit, but now you don't need it.
right.
So that's just a little bit forward. I said I was going to let this play in its entirety, but she just moved up maybe 5-10 feet, and that's the open area. Looks like there's a house out in the background there. Is that a house there?
I don't know where the house sits. I've not been.
It's out there. It looked like they were swarming.
It doesn't look like he got out and moved far from.
She took.
And
you were ready. I had to go and touch it, Ed.
Easy to put your foot in there and
Hop right over. All right, Ron, I got to run.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Going to pass that officer.
Here's the guy's okay.
Ed, was that you live saying you got to run?
Yeah.
All right. Let me stop.
He's in.
Just stay for this part. So there's the Jewett police officer, and he's out there. I mean, he's just looking at the bus. Did you at any time see him go over to that bus?
No.
No.
I never saw the guards at all. And he was following that bus when it crashed. So even though, it doesn't look like he got out and moved far from his car, he watched.
All right. So I'm going to upload this so you guys can watch that whole hour and 2 minutes of that whole video. Ed, I know you got to run, and so do I. Thanks for the reminder. That's clear and concise. Ed, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, folks, take care. Thanks for watching.
Goes Ed Wallace. Ed Wallace is smart. He's leaving so he can maintain his marriage. So that video shows that there was no corrections officers there. The Jewett police officer, who was hailed as a hero, really just secured the bus. Now, in his mind, he might have been thinking, well, there's inmates on there. Who knows what? They might have weapons. I think, if he really wanted to take a tactical approach, he would have been on the opposite side of his car, on the other side of the engine, with his gun drawn down on it. Like, if that was his thinking, like, oh my God, this could be dangerous. There could be somebody, they could have got one of the corrections officers' shotgun or the weapons, and they could be firing at me. So if he was really concerned about his safety, his tactical approach would be on the far side of the vehicle, the street side across the engine. So you have the engine block there as cover, and he could have been drawn down on the bus, giving directions. Don't everybody move. Don't anybody get out of that bus. You get out of the bus, I'm going to shoot you. Something like that. But he stood on the passenger side and was just walking there. So I don't know what he was doing or what his mindset was. I wasn't with him. I'm not his partner. I didn't talk to him. But the bottom line is that Melanie saw no corrections officers, heard no shots, saw Gonzalo Lopez exit the bus. I'm going to upload this whole entire video as a premiere upload, and we'll watch it later on today. Say around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, I'll upload it so you guys can see it. But I do have to run. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me also know what you think about this video and the coverage. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Follow me and Ed on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all one word, DutyRon. And make sure you leave us a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Thank you to everyone who has engaged and said hello to us during the course of the live stream. Thank you for the super love. Thank you for the super thanks. Thank you to the replay viewers. But most importantly, thank you to all of you, the live chatters. We love you. Me and Ed respect you. We value your opinion. We listen to your opinions. As long as Ed said respectfully, we listen to everything and all possibilities. We have to get to the bottom of this and see what happens. But I hope he is found and brought back into custody and put back in jail where he belongs. But we never know what's going to happen. So good day to everyone. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. But especially all victims of crime and their family across the globe. We send prayers, strength, and positive vibes to everyone that is fighting for their safety and fighting for what's right. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Love and respect from DutyRon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace from New York.